Hello everyone and welcome to Walker channel. Today I want to talk about the 6 Days War and the War of Attrition, which took part in 1967 and the 6 Days War lasted 6 days and few hours, and the War of Attrition started almost right after the 6 Days War and lasted until 1970. So I will give you a little description about this war and the historical aspects, and then we will go for the simulation in the game Rise of Nations with the modern times world in conflict. Okay, so let's get started. 47. The British were still in control over the land of what is called today Israel, and the British called it the Palestine. And there was disagreement between the Jews and the Arab populations. And the British had already had enough from the Jewish resistance organizations, and they wanted to leave. And so to make it look like the Britain didn't lose the war of independence, the British gave the UN to decide what to do with the land of Palestine, so-called. So they offered a partition plan to divide the country between the Jews and Arabs. The UN accepted this offer, and the Jews accepted it as well, but the Arabs resisted, and therefore this plan was never fulfilled. And there was a civil war broke out. The British didn't want to stay anymore, they just began to leave. And until the last British soldier left the country, the Jews already had the upper hand in this civil war. And they declared themselves as a Jewish state, but still they gave Israeli citizenship to any Arab in Israel that was left in Israel. And then the Arab countries started their invasion. Egypt invaded from here, and they pushed back until the Gaza Strip, up to the Gaza Strip. Jordan took control over this territory, and that's where they were stopped by the IDF, which was formed. And Syria took control over some border settlements, especially here. And Lebanon didn't really achieve anything, and Iraq had Jordan. So there was a ceasefire in 1949. And the border stayed like this for a long time. Even the war of 56 didn't really change the border for long, because Israel, after the conquest of Sinai, with the help of France and England, Israel forced to leave. But the 6 Days War was a different thing, because the Arab countries had already began their preparation for war. And Israel couldn't stand by, couldn't let the events of 1948 to return. And therefore, Israel did the most unpredictable thing. It attacked first. Israel sent the aircraft to destroy most of the Egyptians' planes on the ground before they even could take off. And Egypt had nothing to resist anymore. Israel had complete air superiority and invaded Sinai, defeated the Egyptian army pretty easily, and reached to the Suez Canal. Jordan was soon to react and started shelling the settlements near the border, nearby the border, and Israel reacted by invading to this territory. And actually Israel managed to liberate all the territories that were lost in 1948, but Israel didn't really want to invade the Jordanian land. There was no really need. However, this wasn't the case with Syria. Syria lost the Golan Heights and some of the Hermon mountain, not the summit, but still much of it, to Israel. It was a really strategically important territory. So after 6 days and 5 hours, I think, Israel doubled its territory, and it was a decisive victory for Israel. But that was short-lived, because only a few months after that, the War of Attrition started. Now, the War of Attrition wasn't a war with invading armies to any side. It was mainly in the Suez Canal, but also in all other fronts. It was more like of a border conflict, but was much more intensified. And to give you some more shit about it, the Soviets had got themselves involved. They deployed troops and aircraft in Egypt, and soon after they joined the raids, the air raids on Israeli outposts. So the war was mainly artillery firing on each side, and commando raids and air raids, some naval battles, but there was no invading army. The Egyptian leader, Jamal Abdel Nasser, thought that if he can't defeat the Israeli army, he can exhaust it. And that's what the war was. That's what it calls the War of Attrition. And eventually, Egypt didn't manage to break Israel, and the other Arab countries as well. Even the Soviets didn't really gave much help for the Egyptians. They didn't really achieved anything. Soviet aircraft had no chance against the Israeli far more superior pilots, but still there were some agreements that were signed between Israel and Egypt, and they were violated the next day by Egypt with no reaction from Israeli side. So you can say that the War of Attrition ended undecisively, with no victory to any side. So it was a part of the Cold War. So now we will go for the simulating. So we'll play today as the Israeli side. Don't worry, the fact that I'm an Israeli myself doesn't mean that I will never play as the enemies of Israel. I think it will be even very interesting to see how my former enemies would react in certain point. I say former enemies because Israel and Egypt are at peace today. And we will take moderate difficulty. Why I take Egypt? Well, simply because Egypt was the strongest country in the Arab world. And I will take it into the Great Sahara. And let's go. Okay, here we go. I start with a small town, which I will soon develop. Yeah, I know it's not the best, historical accuracy that you can think, but this is the best I can get to you so far. So be patient, please. I want to focus more about the technology and how it looks like in the battlefield, and really the lines and everything. The borders will soon be moved. During war, the borders are not stable. Almost almost any time. I think the only war that the borders were so stable was in the First World War, because there was a digging war. Each side wanted to dig itself in the trenches, and it didn't really much move. But this is not the case here. Maybe the War of Attrition had a similar effect, but it was more of a border conflict than a really total war. Well, that's what we have. So, what I want to do now is to expand, because when I expand and I build more cities, then I can have more commerce, and if I have better commerce, then I will have better wealth. See? Besides, you need more cities to have more other resources like food, gain control over areas with natural resources like metal from the mountains or trees from the forests. And oil, of course. Oil is the most important resource that was in reality at the time. And Sinai was rich in oil. It's even called in Israel black gold. You see how expensive it is for Western countries, how they appreciate. Let's build that's called here Senate, but Israel has no Senate, nor Egypt. It's only in America, but here it's more like the Congress or the Parliament. Israel has no Congress, it has Parliament. Okay, so to expand I need to build another city center. I will build it here, and then you will see the borders expanding. It just happened now because of the Parliament. It gives me some bonuses in the border reach, and I can choose between despotism, which will give me cheaper infantry, or a republic, which will give me more commerce limit. I will choose the republic because I need more commerce. Oh, look at this. I'm fighting against the next Egyptian leader, Anwar Sadat. Well, he was really a brilliant person. I will give him that. He replaced Nasser after Nasser died. I don't know the cause of Nasser's death, but I am sure there's a connection to his depression after the loss of the 6 Days War, and he didn't manage to achieve his honor back in the War of Attrition. So I believe it has something to do with this. But Anwar Sadat replaced him, and he was less aggressive and less ambitious, but way more tactician, way better tactician. But about this I will talk about in another video, because Anwar Sadat didn't really participate as a president in the War of Attrition, only maybe in the last year. I will talk about him in another video, which I will make about the Yom Kippur War. And I believe I will do this video one day from the Egyptian side. Okay, so now we just develop the cities and make our efforts. Already university. Let's build small libraries. We can build one library in each town center because there is a limitation. But why would you need so many libraries? Well, because every library allows you to research. Only one at a time. So if you have 4 libraries, you can research 4 at a time, but no more. Because to research more, you have to wait until the previous one will end. Okay, let's build more farms. I need food. Let's see what we can do. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I got back. So now we will build more farms. We still don't have full control over the mountain, and we need it if we want more metal. Sorry about that. More farms. I will need these forests. This one and this one. Ah, shit. That's funny. Don't have enough wood to build more farms, and I don't have enough food to build more lumberjack. More woodcutters camp. Sorry. That's a bad balance, I have to say. So the Egyptians chose the despotism. Very well, it's their choice. Okay, so now I will start building my military camps, which I don't have enough wood to build them all, but their time will come. Let's hire some scholars. I need them if I want to improve my knowledge, which is needed for many researches and even some units, especially in this mod. Oh, that's good. I have now 2 mountains here. which I really need. Okay, so it's time to improve science, and let's take a look about the infantry. I have some. So the IDF used mainly FN-FAL rifles, which is Belgian rifles, and it was a really good rifle for long range, but for short range and trench warfare it was horrible, and therefore the Israelis invented the Uzi submachine gun. As for MG, the Israelis used another Belgian machine gun, but it was more from the 30s. It's the United States still use it and call it M240. 80 specialists. It was probably low or Piat, something that is made outside. I intentionally build the camps far from each other, because in the case of an attack, not all of them will be destroyed at once. I will be able to even repel the attack. But to do so, I need more than just infantry. I need air superiority. Now I can afford myself only 2 air bases. It's not enough, I know, but it's all I got. It's all I've got now. You see, I can improve 2 researchers at once, but not 3, because I need more libraries. I want to build more libraries. I need more cities. Let's build. Here I have more oil, but here I have another mountain, which is further from the front line. But let's build up some temples. In Israel it's called Bet Knesset, which is where you pray if you are a Jew, if you are Jewish. Well, let's talk about the aircraft at the time. This looks like the Phantom, which Israel didn't get until 1969. But before it, Israel had some previous fighter jets, so it doesn't really matter. Israel used mainly Mirage, like this one, from what is left from the French aircraft that were sold to Israel before the embargo started. The United States started to really sell weapons to Israel only after the victory of the 6 Days War. Not because of mercy, because there was a need of mercy. The point was the United States spotted a potential ally that is much powerful than the other countries around, and seized it. Well, that's how it works. Politics. Let's seize control over some rare resources like this one, obsidian. Hell no. Sinai and the Sahara Desert, which I took this map, doesn't contain any obsidian. What's wrong with this developers? Tobacco. I don't think it grows there as well. What is this? Amber. Maybe it makes more sense. What is this? Copper. Yeah, that's a real resource that you can find in the Sinai Desert and even in Israeli Desert, in the Judea Desert. Copper is not rare here. What is this? Wool. That's good. That you can find as well. Oh crap. Look, take a look at this shit. Their first wave of attack destroyed my barracks, but didn't really manage to do anything other than that. I will rebuild it. They destroyed also my auto plant. No need to worry about. Like I said, I will rebuild it, and they will pay for this act. Oh, look at this! The special forces. Let's kill him. That's it. Sniped him out. Well. What do we have here? Well, even though that you saw how I just managed to repel their attack, you should never underestimate your enemy. Especially the Egyptians. They were really powerful. They are still powerful today, but today they are not our enemies anymore. You should never underestimate your enemy. This is the biggest mistake that leaders have done. And look at them. Okay, so I have a new town here. Let's develop it. God damn it, no, not enough food. Come on. Come on, don't you shitting me? Nablus. That is really funny because Nablus wasn't in Israeli control before the 6 Days War. It was under the Jordanian occupation. So, as for tanks, Israel had some Centurion tanks which they developed from stolen plants from England. Yeah, the Israeli rudeness has no limits. After the embargo, Israel stole the plans of building the Centurion tanks and build it themselves. You think this is rude? You have to see what Israel did with the Mirage 5, which was a plane that was planned with Israel and France together, but then the embargo started and the French company couldn't really continue its development of Israel. So again, Israel developed its own kind of mirage, called it the Nesher, which means eagle. And this is not the highest. This is not the record. I think the record is that Israel stole a ship that was bought by them. Israel bought a ship from France, and France didn't want to give it. So it's like stealing. So Israel stole it back. They commandeered the ship. They bribed some French border policemen, and set sail. So let's see, how many planes do I have now? I need more. Now I want to show you something. You see this strategic bomber? Well, Israel didn't really use strategic bombers at the time, but it had some planes that could be used as a strategic bomber. And what we will see here is the Hercules, the C-130 Hercules, developed by Lockheed Martin. And it is a cargo plane, but it can be used as a strategic bomber. The United States used it for this purpose in Vietnam. The Pakistani army used it for bombing Indian troops, and so on. The United States even used it as a gunship, which was really, really cool if you ask me. What did I miss here? Looks like this city is not enough developed. I don't know. Let's build some more buildings. This one and this one, and here. Let's build food. Let's build granaries. But those smelters were my top priority because I need metal desperately to produce more tanks and planes. Looks like the front line of the Egyptians are like too dangerously close to here. And it's not only a security problem but also an economical problem, because that way I cannot produce enough metal because some of them aren't on their side. Therefore, I must protect this border at all costs. For her patrols. Yeah, I know, those planes, they are very powerful, they will not stop the attack alone. But they will give me some advantage that I will know where the enemy is. It looks like their city is undefended. No idea why. Maybe the same reason that they didn't really defend their airbase at the time. But if I will take the city, I will find myself in a dangerous situation. And maybe I will not be able to hold it. That's the problem. To take a city is not that difficult, but to hold it, well, good luck with that. Well, I will take my chances, but only after I will be sure that I will be able to hold the city, not only to capture it. Let's see if I have enough planes to do this. This will be. Let's have some air superiority, and then I will send some troops. Let's have some artillery pieces. It's really important. And anti-aircraft vehicles. I need them desperately. I don't know how many planes they have, and if they're saving it to the last moment. That's nice. Well, if I will succeed in capturing and holding the city, I will be able to create a new front line and get them away from my resources. Oh, and another bonus. I will be able to destroy their military factories over the border. It will not destroy their war machines entirely, but it will reduce them. It will hurt them. Now let's... Okay, city's captured. Now let's have some defense line. That's good. Well, I hope I will be able to hold it for long enough until we have reinforcements around. Bombard this airfield and send reinforcements, small scale reinforcements. I need more, I need large scale reinforcements. That's not enough. Create some soldiers, infantry. I have a new kind that will build. I will recruit some snipers, I need them desperately. They will help me a lot. And let's have some mortars. Trying to improve this and do my best. Keep bombarded. Bomb it. What the fuck? I have that gap. Why? Don't understand. Well, no. I have a solution. I will build the fort. Okay, so now I have more reinforcements. They can still push me back, but it's really unlikely. Still, what did I say earlier? Never underestimate your enemy. Oh, they started. Here we go. Anti-aircraft vehicles. Let's build up some Hercules. Ah! Don't have enough metal. Fuck it. So I will stop this attack and then I will advance. That's it. You see that my troops has green highlight, the red highlights. That's simply because they lose life in enemy territory with no supply. Maybe this attack wasn't a good idea after all. Come on, advance, advance. We need to capture the city quick. Okay, so now we did the easy part. Now comes the hard part. Hold the city. Okay, I managed to conquer the city, but still my troops are in inferior position now. They are surrounded and outnumbered. Well, I know what can save them. Come on. Holy shit! Rockets! Fucking goddamn rockets! Can't fight in two fronts. Well, this city can be ruined and can be captured easily if I will do fast. Holy shit! They destroyed my fort with their ballistic missile. That's bad. It's pretty bad. Let's send some troops to protect this city. Maybe when I will take it, I will have to focus only on one front, and my troops will be no longer surrounded and outnumbered. Have some supply wagons. I added the ability to heal. Well, yeah, I managed to push them back a little bit, but still I'm in inferior position. I have to bomb them now. There's another thing I can do. I create my own base here. First of all, let's advance. If I will advance before they can really react, I can destroy their entire factory. Military base. No, don't waste your ammunition and time on cities. I already have this. No, I don't. deploy more troops. Looks like I have scarcity of food. Let's solve it. There's another base here. I will have to separate. I will not be able to fight in two fronts. I can't. I need to close one immediately. Oh wow, those soldiers are really powerful. Airborne infantry. Yeah, also very powerful. But I have outnumbered them. Funny. Most of the time they were outnumbered me. Now I outnumbered them. Who is has the upper head now? Come on, advance, quickly. Hit them. Leave this city alone. Bomb the factories. Oh, that's it. Now I seized control. Let's begin with more reinforcements, and then I will begin with massive invasion again to the other front. But now, at least this side is safe. So they came up with another village. No problem. Will be mine soon. Why won't I use helicopters? They refuse to give up. This is an epic battle between my infantry and their infantry, but I have armors and artillery support and they don't. Let's deploy them but closer or else they will be useless. By the way, where are the tanks? Always here. The problem is that they build so fast My troops are still in the Fallujah pocket. So now I have the Yuri, and no, the Cobra wasn't in use in Israel until 1975, long after the war ended. So I will use Yuri just for the sake of the historical moments. So Cairo is now in ruins. Let's take it. That's it. Cairo is mine now. Now all I have to do is to take the main towns. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. I need you. Let's finish it quickly. That's it. See, it was pretty easy. Let's look at the losses. 114 units. Every unit is like, in average, it's 3 soldiers. And you can quad the numbers, and you will get the Egyptians' loss. See, they lost 4 times more than me. But that's a clear victory. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked my video, please share it, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Stay tuned.